Welcome to Poets from the Neighborhood. My name is Sandy Coomer.
And I'm David M. Harris. We hope you'll enjoy the poems we'll be reading today, poems written by your friends and neighbors. A poem of my own, Exchanging Vowels. Are you hot? Don't hit the hat. Best to baste the hem or the ham or the tom, but not a tam or Tim's tum. Some fans have fins, though fins are big bogs with bugs. For bags, go to the store and stare at a steer. Blind blondes have more fun than bland blends. Turn over a new leaf and loaf for your life. Go with the flow and the flaw, lave and live for love.
I wrote the next poem, and it's called Darker. He sits in the home office, staring past his computer to the pin oak framed in the window. It's not a healthy tree, though it was in its time, tall and wide, shading the side yard. Now there's more dead than live branches, and he studies the slow randomness of dying, the high, the low, the balance of light. I know what he's thinking when he sits like that, still and weighted with the kind of grief that holds its own hand, won't be comforted by anything else. He is watching his mother die a little more every day. I've told him it's okay to rest, to sleep one morning past the first glimmer of sunrise. He carries private shadows like a stack of books, opens them, runs his fingers down stiff pages, bares each broken spine. He is learning what it means to suffer beneath the flesh of the body, the heart with its constant hollow space, speared with the turning of hours. It's almost dusk. He allows himself this brief silence, this small reprieve. The clock doesn't understand the need to forget time as daylight shifts under the dying oak. He doesn't notice the minutes passing, the room growing darker and darker.
Another poem of mine, Crossing the High Desert. The air is thinner, colder in the permanent winter. We struggle, discreet with one goal, to survive despite each other. We do not know how wide the desert is or what we might find, but carving cactus for food and drink is easier with 4 hands than 2. We prowl the unmapped, much-traveled land, seek a way to the far boundary, whatever direction that might be. Even if the end is separation, we will find it only if we work together.
Bumper Crop by Nancy Posey. After he relinquished his keys, abandoned his practice of driving by faith, not by sight, his Ford Fairline sat for years parked in the covered carport where the two of them held court in metal folding chairs, watching young drivers. Weren't they all young? Speed past, heading for beer joints across the line from this dry county. Mostly they just sat and waited for visits from the children, the grandkids, folks from up at the church stopping by. Sometimes, often, he fell on his way out to the mailbox, and she flagged down passers-by to help her lift him. Sometimes the days passed so slowly they could almost see the mimosa seedlings sprouting in the car bumper, growing an inch or 2.
And another poem of mine, East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, in June. What birds these are, I doubt I'll ever know. The crows arrange themselves in staggered rows, but something more melodious is screened up in the trees, a colony that preens and sings invisible to me. They could be finches, warblers, wrens, or mockingbirds, some feathered souls who sing a sweeter song than crows or jays, whose calls I know. The tongues of songbirds are to me all foreign tunes. Would naming them be helpful to me? June is rife with birdsong, blooms, and budding fruits, with pleasures here and promises of treats. No problem if I do not know the birds. The challenge lies in hearing unsung words, concealed within their calls, to understand the ways that nature teaches anyone who pays enough attention.
Reserve-Arrington Vineyards by Catherine Moore. We sit watching a video on how to preserve roses with borax. I happened on it, researching the roses that flank the end of each scaffold trellis. Deep fuchsia punctuation along scripted lines of once succulent grapes. The spent vine could not compete with the exaggerated blossoms of cotton rose mallow, extended summer barely withered with blossoms stretch. I become pensive among the smoky scents of autumn, sipping from last harvest's bounty. Why does beauty need to be saved this way? Smothered under granule mix, sealed in a plastic box, flux, acid, menthol, for what special set aside? For when in held purpose? This falling beauty, near dispersal, radiant death, heady and ready in the air. With your thumb, you brush an unseen teardrop across my cheek. Our cups are empty. It's time to go. Rose and sky begin to meet. You say, the sitter can stay. I reply, they will be hungry. You pull out the Cabernet Reserve, the one we had bought for Christmas dinner. Thank you for watching Poets from the Neighborhood. We hope you'll join us again soon.